I don't know about Gels, Dakota, or Alex, but I get bombarded with messages on Instagram from a ton of you guys asking about what you should do next after you lowered your car. Like, what style of wheels should you get? Or what style of tires should you get? Do I need a skid plate? And how can I stop my axles from slamming into my subframe on my Volkswagen? Well, you guys asked for it, so that's what we're bringing you. Today, we're gonna talk about the best mods for your lowered car. But before we jump headfirst into this one, I gotta hit you with the plug. If you're enjoying the content, subscribe. Our team works extremely hard to bring you guys daily content. Give the video a thumbs up. It helps us get in front of more car enthusiasts just like yourselves. And if you ever need anything, wheels, tires, or suspension, make sure you come see the Fitment experts at FitmentIndustries.com. We have over 1 million different wheel and tire packages, ceramic coating, plus accessories, and a ton of cool merch. And if you like oddball cars and want to see some behind the scenes action here at Fitment Industries, go ahead and give me a follow on the old IG at seanb.fi. Let's get started. The first thing I tell people when they have any questions about lowering their car outside of the suspension itself is I ask them, what size of tire are you planning to run on your vehicle? Your tire size is going to be one of the main pain points when it comes to setting up your lowered car. If you're trying to slam the damn thing on the ground, you're probably going to want a stretched or undersized tire for a few different reasons. For one, fender to tire contact is a great way to crumple a fender and remove some paint. Make some disgusting noises, ruin your fender liners, and it's going to cause you to drive like a super cautious noob, as well as completely ruin your tires. And nobody wants that. Getting the correct tire on your ride the first time is going to be one of the most important mods you can do for your lowered vehicle. And it's simultaneously going to be one of the most expensive lessons you're going to learn if you f it up. For a setup that's going to require a bit of camber or stretch, I cannot recommend the Nitto Neogen enough. The thick tread blocks on the outside of that tire is going to help increase the lifespan of your tire with that extra camber or a little bit of that stretch. And the tread pattern itself looks really aggressive, and it's a fantastic performance tire in the dry and the wet. Alongside tires, the next big recommendation I have for people is obviously going to be wheels. Aftermarket wheels is what's going to let you dial in your fitment and give the car an entirely new look to complement your suspension. But it's not only for looks. A lighter wheel is going to further help your suspension do its job, as well as let you get a wider, lower profile tire on that bad boy if you so choose. Take my Mustang, for example. For some dumb reason, they decided to make these cars have a wide looking rear flare, but then put some 17 by 8 inch wide wheels on it with a +30 offset. It looks like me when I put on skinny jeans. Big body, little legs. It's really awkward and it's really weird. But slap on some 18 by 10.5 with a +20 or a +22 offset, and it fills out those lines so good. Without any real fitment issues, it completely changes the whole look and the dynamic of these cars. Wheels can make all the difference. The very next one I get a ton is, hey, I slammed my car and now it drives like shit. Well, if you lower any car any amount, let alone say a significant amount, in order to get your suspension back dialed in and aligned properly, you're more than likely going to need a set of camber or caster plates. Too much camber and the car is going to feel darty, numb on the center, and overall kind of look goofy depending on your setup. And your caster angle can also change the driving dynamics. Your caster angle is essentially the angle of your steering axis viewed from the side. Positive camber would mean the center of the wheel is in front of the top suspension mounting point, and negative would mean the center of the wheel is behind the top mounting point of your suspension. This can make drastic changes to how the car rides and feels, and really needs to be on point or you're gonna have a bad time. Most modern coilovers will have a caster camber plate built into it, but that's not always the case, especially if you choose not to go with an adjustable coilover setup at the end. In any case, a set of caster camber plates will give you an extra bit of adjustment to help you dial in your alignment to both make it safer and perform better as well. Skid plates can also be quite handy. Some cars naturally have low slung oil pans without a ton of protection because the vehicle was never really intended to be slammed on the ground. A skid plate is going to give you that added bit of protection in the off chance that you do encounter a large rock or other debris in the road, or just preserve the finish on your subframe if you know this is going to be a problem. It's genuinely cheap insurance even on a stock vehicle. Typically when a car's suspension gets modified, whether you're lifting, lowering, slamming, or otherwise, you will be increasing the stiffness of the suspension. And when you do that, a lot of those stresses in the road are transferred to the chassis. And with wheels that are diagonally opposed, the chassis can flex a bit with heavy abuse. And when you do that, a lot of those stresses in the road are going to be transferred to the chassis. and with wheels that are diagonally opposed, the chassis can flex a bit under heavy abuse. An easy way to combat this is if you feel like things are a little loosey-goosey, is to get a strut tower brace. Bracing the strut towers together is going to decrease that flex and keep those stresses in your suspension so you can dial in your setup more precisely. This is also one of those mods that both looks very nice, functions well, and is also pretty cost effective. Spacers can be a lifesaver in a multitude of situations. Whether the wheel you want simply doesn't have the brake clearance you need, isn't offered in the correct offset for your application, or you're rubbing on some inner suspension components, or you just want a more aggressive flush fitment, a spacer can usually take care of all of those things. You can pretty well get anything from a 3mm spacer all the way up to multiple inches of spacer. It's a very universal tool with a lot of uses, and we carry just about all of them. Applying to mostly front-wheel drive or full frame applications, frame notching can be absolutely necessary to get that ride height that you want without binding up any steering or driveline components. Take Mark IV Volkswagens for example. I know after having one that the axle output on the trans sits kind of up high in line with the subframe. So when you do slam these things, the axle will actually start making contact with the subframe and start causing all kinds of other issues. Most of the time, the applications that suffer from this do have aftermarket support for frame notching, and you essentially just cut out the portion of your frame or subframe that's making contact with your axle and then box it in to put that strength back into it, and then you're good to go. One of the most popular ones on this list that people really do to dial in fitment is to pull, roll, and stretch their fenders. This is going to allow you to stuff a larger, more aggressive wheel and tire setup under your car, as well as smooth out the underside of that fender, so in case of fender to tire contact, it doesn't rip off huge chunks of the tire and then ruin the fender like that one time I was driving Alex's Ferrari. Be careful though, just because you can get a cheap fender roller off Amazon doesn't mean it's going to be a piece of cake to do. It's really easy to crack metal and destroy paint if you haven't done the research or don't even have the patience. And of course, if you want complete and total control and peace of mind, Air Ride is the ultimate mod to go with your lowered vehicle. It's adjustable, it can be comfortable, you can monster truck over rough terrain, and you can set multiple driving heights from mild to wild, and you can straight up dump it when you want to hard park and look cool. It can be a bit expensive, but it is the suspension setup to end all suspension setups. And to go with the ultimate flexibility, a multi-piece wheel is going to let you perfectly dial in that fitment while simultaneously flexing so hard on the person who you park next to you on cruise night. But that about wraps it up for this list of the best mods for your lowered car. I hope this video can bring you some value by helping you choose what to do next with your vehicle. And if it did, give this video a thumbs up to help show your support. Let me know what your go-tos are for your lowered vehicle down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit up fitmentindustries.com for all things wheels, tires, or suspension. I'm Sean from Fitment Industries, SeanB.fi on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.